The third prisoner exchange between Hamas and Israel has turned into a terrifying spectacle. Militants staged a rally of thousands of people with armed Islamic jihadi soldiers in attendance. In response, Israel's prime minister is issuing a protest to mediators. According to Israeli media, convoys carrying freed Hamas militants to enter the Gaza Strip after handing over hostages to the Israeli side were also stopped. This footage, from October 7th, 2023, circulated around the entire world. 7 young women in pajamas, torn from their beds, lined up against the shelter wall. It is now known that they were defending an Israeli base just across the border from the Gaza Strip. They were all just out of their first training courses, 18 or 19 years old. They were all abducted. 4 of them were freed last week. That's when Hamas first organized a demonstration hostage transfer. Another, Agam Berger, who fought with the militants, was released this morning. She arrived at the unit she was defending 2 days before the attack. Shortly after their release, the women told of their harrowing experiences in captivity. Many of them were repeatedly raped, starved, and treated like animals. Terrorists kept them in tunnels, frequently changed their hiding places, and tortured them in an attempt to obtain information about the movements of Israeli forces. The first thing she said was that she was sorry for doing this to us, that she made us wait so long. And we told her, "What are you talking about?" She was so worried about us. It's crazy she was in that hell, and the most important thing she told us when we met was that she was sorry that we had to worry about her. The hostage exchange is being used by Hamas for propaganda purposes. The militants, who handed over 5 Thai citizens and 2 Israeli hostages, held a rally in support of Hamas at the site of the demolished home of Yahya Sinwar, the now dead author of the October 7th attack. This sparked an outcry from Israeli authorities, who announced they would file a protest with mediators and, according to media reports, halted the transfer of prisoners in exchange for the freed hostages. We are an army that is very proud of the implementation of this policy, of the implementation of the decision to bring the hostages home. But we will be equally proud if we return to the fight. Israel continues military operations in the West Bank. Indeed, the truce with Hamas applies only to the Gaza Strip. According to the Defense Ministry's announcement, for the time being, there is no intention of stopping this operation. We have declared war on Palestinian terror in the West Bank. Operation Iron Wall is aimed at defeating the terrorist infrastructure that has been built in Palestinian refugee camps, thanks to Iranian funding and weaponry. According to intelligence sources, Iran is trying to deliver aid to Hamas and Hezbollah militias via Syria, although this has been much more difficult ever since the toppling of the Assad regime, especially since Israeli forces are still stationed in the Golan Heights, creating a buffer zone on the Syrian border.